My name is Sophia the Shadow Hunter, and today I'm doing my book review on Finding Rebecca by Ian Dempsey. I really enjoy this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. However, when I first started reading the book, I really enjoyed it. And then I couldn't really tell where it was going. It was getting a little confusing, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. And then when it was getting close to the end, I was like, this book's almost over. So much stuff has happened. I don't know how they're going to be able to finish it off with a good or decent ending. And I really enjoyed the ending. It wasn't a normal ending because it wasn't like heartbreaking or joyous, but I feel like there was a mix of both. And I think that's really interesting and elegant to see in a book where it's not just one person's completely happy and one person is completely miserable. There are these two people and they love each other and they went through war together, and the other one got married and they still loved each other, but they weren't going to force each other to choose or to make a decision because they realized that things had happened for a reason and that they would always love each other and be there for each other when they needed them, but they didn't want to do that. She was in a decent, happy marriage, and he wanted each other to be a part of their lives because he thought her father told him that she was dead and she wasn't. And so now he's on TV talking about the war crimes and what he did and what he experienced as an SS guard at Auschwitz. And she is shocked to find out that he was an SS guard, but in reality he did it to save her. It's just such an amazing story. It was fiction. It also really reminded me of my first book, which is, it's similar, yeah, it's completely different. I feel like the writing style was similar, and it was really interesting to see, and I really enjoyed it, and it really made me want to get back into reading these type of books because these are the books that I love to read. And I just don't always get around to reading books like these because there's always so many other books I want to read in so little time, and it's hard to get to them, but I really enjoyed this book. I also thought it was really well done for a person's first book. It was really good, really interesting. I liked the writing style. It was easy to read. I was able to read it pretty fast. Could have read a little bit faster, but I enjoyed it. I'm glad I took my time because I realized in the times when I've sped through a book and when I take closer to a week to finish a book, which I normally can read a book quicker than that, but if I don't have time and I feel like it takes longer, I feel like this story has time to develop in my mind, whereas when I read a book in 3 to 4 days really fast and I don't understand what's going on, the story does not develop in my brain, in my head. It's hard to create a good picture of what I thought about it. So I really enjoyed this book. If you guys have read this book, I would love to know your thoughts on it in the comments down below, and I'd love to know any good World War II Holocaust books that you guys think I should read, and I'll read and do a review on them for you guys. And I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time, everyone. Goodbye. Hey guys, I'm back. So I was talking about my review of Finding Rebecca by Ian Dempsey. I really enjoyed this book. There were lots of interesting things in it. When I started reading it, I really liked it. When it got to the end, I was kind of afraid about it ending too shortly, but he packed so much into the last end of it, and it really made me really love and enjoy this book. All the details, the relationship of the story unraveling at the end of it was really amazing, I thought, and I really enjoyed it. If you guys read this book, I'd love to see your thoughts on the comments down below. So as I was saying, they practically grew up together. She had a very rough childhood, and she felt safe and at home with them, and so they kind of helped raise her. And then the war came, and she was sent to Auschwitz, and he became an SS guard to help her. He was working in Canada, and at the end of the book, it shows him he's going on television to talk about the war crimes and the people he thought deserved to be punished for what they did, and he felt very horrible about being a part of it, but he was doing it to find the woman he loves. And at the end of the book, when they're talking and he's talking about why he did this and how her father lied about her being dead because he didn't want them to be together, he did it for her, and he wasn't an SS guard, and he felt like he didn't save a lot of lives. However, he did save a lot of children. He saved them from being sent to the gas chambers and ultimately dying there with the rest of their family members and all the young children that were killed there because they couldn't work. And it was just a very amazing story. Like I said, I was like ready. I don't think I'm gonna like how this book's gonna end. And there's like only 30 pages left, but he did such an amazing job of unraveling the story. However, so it is several years later, and she is married, and she has a good job, and they both know that they love each other. He does not want to force her to leave this marriage, and he doesn't want to disrupt that, but they will always be friends, and he always loves her. However, at the end of the book, I think she does decide to come to him. As the way it ends, it seems that way to me. But I really enjoyed this book. It was a great book, and I would love to reread it. It also really reminded me of my first book, just the way, not his writing style, but just the whole, some books have, you know, like a feel or emotional draw to it, and I felt like my book reminded me a lot of this